All right, we are back in Studio K with Infuriate. How are y'all feeling coming off that performance?
Good, thanks.
Oh yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, we're psyched to have you
Thank you
here.
for having us. We appreciate it.
Right away, do you guys all want to introduce yourselves? Just your names and your instruments?
I'm Tom. I play bass and vocals.
I'm Mark. I play guitar and vocals.
I'm Sergio. I play the drums.
And yeah, do you want to tell us about the songs we just heard?
The first song we played, actually, all the songs we played are off our upcoming record that we just recorded last weekend at Signature Tone Studios with Adam Tucker. The first song was Hell on Earth. The second song was called Path to Destruction. Third song was Why. And then the last song was a song called Indominance.
Sweet. And how did recording that record go? Do you have a plan for when that'll
It
come
went
out?
awesome.
or-
It was awesome. We recorded our first record 3 years ago with Adam, and this one, he worked us a lot harder. We were there for 10 hours.
Oh, man.
We kind of expected that, but pretty much got everything in one take. Everything went really smooth. I think this time we're spending now mixing it is a lot more work. We're putting a lot more work into that than it seemed like we were recording it, but it went great. Had a great time with Adam. He's like the best guy in the Twin Cities.
Sweet. And do you have an estimate for when that's going to come out?
Record should be out sometime after the first of the year. Obviously, I haven't gotten everything back from Adam, but yeah, I'm hoping sometime after the first of the year. We got a few record labels going to help us release it. We're very, very fortunate. People taking interest in us, so it'll be available that way too, as well as through us and our merch table. But hopefully after the first of the year.
Sweet. And yeah, so we talked about this earlier before you guys played, but right now you've got your Doomsday EP out and you're on a couple splits and comps. Yeah, what can you tell us about the process of recording those and how you got involved with those different comps?
Yeah, all that stuff we did was everything. A lot of the old songs are from the old record. A couple labels took interest, and I think it was this Hey Fuck You, HFY Records was interested first, and they put out the four-way split that you're talking about. And Sub called Death Wish Records from California, my buddy Danny, they took interest in it next, and he ended up putting us on these other compilations. And it's all Doomsday era stuff, but both labels and a couple others are interested. We're going to put out the new record, get that stuff going. There'll be future splits coming out as well. Other songs we recorded that are not going to be on the record are going to be available through other pressings with splits and whatnot.
Sweet. Cool. Well, yeah, one question I like to ask everyone who comes in is how did you guys all first get involved in music? Like when you were younger? Like what inspired you to first pick up an instrument and what kind of got you into this style?
Well, I was like a early, preteen, teenager, and started playing guitar, and then after that, just kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually started playing with other people, and I've always done it. Like as long as I can remember from back then, that's what I do.
For sure.
I've been playing drums before I was 10. I started off with hand drums and then kind of slowly worked up to like the trap set and basically got really like jazz and blues and R&B have been my main influences for drumming.
Okay.
It really did. I didn't start really getting into metal until like high school later, kind of like meeting more punks and metalheads and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Playing fast is fun.
I'm a little bit older than these guys. I picked up guitar in the 70s when I was like probably 6 or 7 years old. My aunt had one. My mom ended up buying me my first guitar, Christmas is 77, 78, because I loved Kiss. I wanted to be a Kiss, I loved Ace Frehley and the guitar. And my stepdad introduced me to Black Sabbath. That's where I really took the guitar seriously. And my mom ended up buying me my first electric. And yeah, I'm still playing. I've always was attracted really quick in the early 80s to the punk rock scene and everything about that. And that's what I want to do. And, still doing it.
Sweet. And so this band's been around for about 6 years now. Is that right?
I would say the three of us have been playing together about 6 years.
Uh-huh.
I think we got together, started jamming like winter of 2019.
Sweet.
And all through the pandemic, everything shut down, and we were able to, which worked to our advantage, we were able to like practice every week anyway. So we got like a whole year's worth of practice, wrote a record.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
And yeah, you've done a lot of touring in different festivals over the last few years.
We've done 5 full U.S. tours. We go to different coasts. Take a few weeks here, go there, out east and out west a few times, and through the Midwest. We've been down south. We just did a southern tour back in March, and at first it was a little bit hard. Nobody knows who you are, but the last probably 3 or 4 times out have been great. Everybody we meet is awesome. DIY spirit's certainly alive everywhere we played in a lot of cities. Some places better than others, but super, super awesome.
Yeah. Do you guys have any favorite cities to play? I'm always curious for like what people's favorite cities are.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes when you play, even small cities are fun, but big cities are also obviously fun because you get to meet more cool people. But then, some of my favorite places, maybe if I had to say one, is Lincoln, Nebraska. Was fun.
Yeah.
Just repair boys.
Yeah, those guys are cool. And I don't know, going out west is always fun too. A lot of cool people out there.
Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon's a pretty small town, but they have one of the biggest punk communities at the moment. We
Okay.
played out there both times, and it was just amazing, like 50, 60 kids in a small place, and everybody's going, completely crazy. Pretty awesome. So I would say, sometimes smaller towns or cities are better than the big cities. People are more close-knit, know each other. You know
For
what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you got a favorite?
The West Coast has been the funnest so far. I mean,
Yeah.
We do really well when we go. We do really well when we go out west. I don't know why, but yeah, it's always like super awesome. I mean, my wife and I have both lived in LA. My wife's from LA. I lived there for a really long time. So yeah, when we go out there, it's always super cool. People are super awesome. I mean, LA's so big. You could play, you could stay in LA for like 3 days and play 3 or 4 shows, and they're all awesome.
Yeah.
All these different punk communities, and it seems like everybody knows each other. You see a lot of people in different places. You go to a show in Pomona, and play a show in LA. You'll see people from both, which is really cool. I mean, Pomona's like an hour away, but West Coast is awesome. That's where it's at.
So how'd you guys just coming from being like little kids picking up your instruments because you're into Kiss and stuff? How'd you get into the style of music that you like now?
Oh, that's an easy question.
I think back in like the 80s and the 90s, like, I don't know, I just thought of like hardcore music and punk music, metal, anything extreme kind of was like my favorite kind of stuff that I was like into. And gave me like, it spoke to me, so I just kind of went with that.
We've been asked this question before, and it's like the 3 of us have talked about it, but I think the thing that gets our sound is the 3 of us love death metal. And the 3 of us, we share our favorite death metal band is Deicide. So I know I'm not saying we sound like Deicide, but that's like a huge influence. On top of me and Tom liking punk and all the old school stuff, and I like a lot of Crust and D-Beat. Sergio loves death metal, black metal. So all that coming together, it's different than what I imagined it to be starting out, but pretty cool. Say anything?
as much as I play in metal and played punk bands and metal bands, I listen to rap and stuff. I mean, I do listen to some metal every now and then, and I do appreciate. Like, one of my favorite bands is Morbid Angel. That band is just insane. But I don't know. I was listening to Anita Baker today. But yeah.
It's classic too. Yeah, another thing I was curious about is there's a lot of like political messages in your music. I was kind of curious. Do you think you kind of found those politics through music, or did you kind of find this music because of those political beliefs?
I think getting into punk rock and stuff, like, it was always been a anti-authoritarian kind of vibe to it, like ever since the beginning. So I don't know. I've always kind of felt that same way growing up. So I guess I just kind of attracted toward it, like, pretty naturally.
My mom always said when I was little, I was naturally rebellious. I've always been that way, so I think that's what attracted me to punk. But certainly, like with Infuriate, we're not a political band. I think a lot of people are under the impression we're a political band, when we're not. We're more of a doomsday band.
Okay.
We sing about the current situation going on in the world we all live in and our outlook on it. And granted, our personal morals and values are more that of anarcho, but that's just us. But by no means political, but certainly angry. I think we're all angry, and it's a good outlet to get your anger out of.
For sure. Cool. Yeah, I was hoping you could run us through the songwriting process. Like, yeah, how does that start, and how do you write the lyrics?
I couldn't hear your question.
He's asking about the songwriting process.
Oh, songwriting process. Oh, all the new songs is just like we've done so much touring, and I do most of the driving when we're on tour, so I get like sounds in my head, and I've even talked to him about on the road, like about a song idea or whatever. And it seems like with this record, by the time I got home from our last West Coast tour, I had most of these songs already in my head. So I just go home, I stay up really late after the kids are in bed, and I play everything out. And I write basically almost all the songs, and I just show these guys the songs. They help me make the songs better with their ideas. Sergio's really good with arrangements. He's got a good ear for that, but it all goes pretty easy. They seem to like everything I'm coming up with. We're all on the same page with how we want it to sound. So,
For sure.
yeah.
And for the lyrical stuff, you said that's really inspired.
Yeah,
by
lyrical stuff, it's just, nothing's political. It's just our outlook on everything that's going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And learning to accept that it's going to get much worse before it gets much worse, and that's okay. So you can find positivity in that. Try to be positive about it. Nothing's going to get any better, and anybody thinks that it is, you're wrong. It's not going to. It's just not.
Uh-huh. But there's like a positivity in that, you're saying?
Just stay positive and look out for one another, and just try to do what's right all the time. Try to do the right thing. Be a good person. People push back harder. Just be a good, honest person. I always say to my kids, best thing you do is just be honest and do the right thing, and everything's going to be okay. As adults, I think we all know that, but we also think about how bad everything is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. A child doesn't think like that.
For sure. Yeah, just a couple final questions is, what do you all think about the scene in Minneapolis and having toured so much? Is there anything that kind of makes Minneapolis stand out?
There's always been ebbs and flows in the scenes everywhere, so I don't know. Currently, it's like nothing compared to like how it was in the '90s, but there's stuff going on. Like other cities, it depends on the time when you get there, because things change all the time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then one question we like to ask everyone who comes in is if you guys can create a dream bill that's Infuriate, and then you can pick any other bands to play it, dead or alive, broken up, still together. If you each want to pick one band, what would that bill look like?
We'd probably all pick the same band. We would probably be Deicide, I would think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Deicide, but I'm saying Motorhead.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think Motorhead and Deicide would probably be just like up our alley, stuff that we're trying to not necessarily sound like, but
They're huge influences.
they're just big influences on us.
Good
So
bands.
I think we'd be stoked, probably a little shocked
For sure.
to see a dead person. Rest in peace, Lemmy.
Cool. And then, yeah, just final thing, are there any other shows you have coming up or other announcements you want the people to know about?
Well, we have the record coming out, like I said, after the first of the year. There's no more local shows. We're more of a touring band, so we just like traveling together and being in the band together all the time. So there's going to be a lot of that 2026. My wife is our manager, booker, promoter. She's been doing it forever, and she knows how happy it makes me, so she's going to keep us on the road a lot. She believes in us and likes the record and the songs, and a lot of people do far enough away, so it's worth going out for. So that's all we're planning on. So yeah, the record will be out and lots of touring. We'll play Minneapolis when our homies come through on tour. We did when the Gramus were here. You and I met. That was awesome. That was a great show.
Uh-huh.
whoever else. But yeah, tour.
Sweet.
I mean, it's what we like to do. It's not for everybody, but it's fun. It's like I always say, live life hard and loud.
Hard and loud. Sweet. Well, thanks again for coming in, y'all. This has been Infuriate on Radio K, Real College Radio.